action. We have Greg Shaw versus Justin Desai. Uh, this is their first game of the OCS playoffs. As you can see, this game is going to you live. I had a little bit of technical difficulties this morning. You can see that Justin he's playing ISB. He's going with the SSA start. He is starting the Coruscant 500 Republic. Shaw is going with Diplo. Not something I would put Shaw on, but hey, it's the OCS playoffs, so interesting choice. We have a mid battle, as you can see, uh, and we are on Greg's turn. Greg has Tantive with General Kraken, Senator Mon Mothma, R2D2, obviously. Bright Hope, and a Carillion Corvette. So he loses the General Kraken. Justin had to lose. He has the Stalker as well as Officer Evax and Poltierdom. Justin had to lose Poltierdom, and wow, yeah, all Greg had to lose was Shaw or General Kraken. He did end up drawing Bail Organa for Destiny, and let's see, did he take that into hand? No, he actually didn't draw Bail Organa into his hand, but he did get Menace Fades. So he does have Owen and Baru out, so that's good. He left the Bright Hope in the Corvette. Interesting. If I thought he would at least have. Oh, so now he's moving them. Okay, so he doesn't flip because he doesn't have another character on those ships. So that's kind of a problem, but it happens. Justin will move the Stalker back over to Tantive or Tatooine. Again, had a little bit of difficulties this morning. I apologize for that. Okay. Oh, Justin has his Vader come down. So, yeah, the Stalker was able to follow the Carillion Corvette and the Bright Hope back over to Tatooine. As you can see with... So, that's a good thing for Justin. Again, Justin then just dropped Vader, canceled Owen Bruce game text, and now looks like he's gonna come down with some stormtroopers. So maybe we'll see a trooper a beatdown here in a second. Yep, following up with the Kyrkanos. So things aren't looking good for Greg at this point. You got to think though, with the errata to weapons display and firepower, maybe he's got a dodge in his hand. Maybe, I mean, he did save 3 force, so we might see something like it's a trap. He did, I mean, being that he delivered the plans, he was able to pull a card with the plans, so he's got to have something in his hand at this point. Oh, thank you for your subscription there, Nana. Nana, his Nana, she I'm sorry. I'm really, really, really bad at pronunciations. Okay, we see Corporal, another trooper. So he point another guy onto the stalker as well. Give him some forfeit along with evacs. Okay. Okay. He pulls aim high. Smart play pulling the aim high. Uh, Justin hasn't flipped yet, so a preemptive aim high. Okay, so he's got 7 in overflow. Okay, there's the Hojix. So he did have something. Okay, let's see what Justin. Okay, yeah, Justin does initiate. Now, Greg doesn't have Destiny there because the Corellian Corvette only has ability 1. So, ooh, Justin draws a 1 for Battle Destiny. Okay, so he does still have the Bright Hope. So, I mean, he can still reduce. Okay, Justin does get to redraw. So, there's a Stunning Leader for 4. Okay, so Greg is currently down by 8. Let's see what he gets for the Bright Hope. And he gets a 5. Wow, that's really good. So, Naha Studios. Okay, so yeah, so that's why Greg pulled the aim high there because of the Imperial Enforcement. So I mean, Justin would yeah, he gets to retrieve. He retrieved Lieutenant Poltierdom. So probably gonna see. So yeah, Greg is down by 3, so he just peels. He peels Luke Skywalker, Antilles Maneuver, and a Rebel Leadership. Losing a Luke isn't too bad. But I mean, yeah, Antilles Maneuver. Not, I don't think it's going to come into play as much in this matchup because Justin probably is not going to have any weapons. The Rebel Leadership. Okay, yeah. I mean, he already lost a Kraken, so maybe. But again, he didn't lose any of his ships, so that's important. Justin will send his Stormtrooper or his Biker Scout up to the Stalker. Let's see. That's one. He really doesn't have any prevalent game text. Yeah, and neither does that one. So that's good. Uh, let's see. Greg gets out the Menace Fades. We saw him taking a hand at that last battle a couple turns ago when they were at Chandrilla. It won't come into play. He doesn't control a site, so Menace Phase will not be in effect yet. Also, Menace Phase won't work on the moisture farm. So unless Vader or your trooper here, force drain -1. If both here, it's a force drain +1 instead. Kirkanos is not a trooper, so he won't get the +1, but it is a drain of 2 there. Okay, down comes Obi-Wan, so I mean he can ditch 2 cards to get a card back. That's pretty good. Surprised we haven't seen Bail or... Oh, yeah, he doesn't have Bail Organa yet. Okay, so let's see. Shaw's coming down. He's got Captain Cassian Andor, so he can cancel a Battle Destiny. And he's got Ramus Antilles. Or Antilles giving... Well, he's got nothing yet, so it looks like he's planning to ditch the Corellian Corvette. Unfortunately, the Tantive is all the way over here. I'm a little surprised Shaw didn't Docking Bay Transit onto the Corellian Corvette and send the R2D2 and C3PO to Alderaan. That way he could have moved the Tantive over. But hey, stuff like that happens. Okay, so he does get to Tatooine Celebration out. He's only got 3 cards left in his hand, though. Justin has 10 cards, so if there's one thing I learned watching Justin Desai, he likes having a larger than normal hand. Okay. And Corrin Horn comes down as well. So, yeah, that's... Okay, Corrin Horn is going to reinforce with Obi-Wan. I like that. And then he draws up 3 cards. So he only has 1 card in hand. But again, with Justin having a 10-card hand, we're going to see him throw down some more guys onto that Stalker. If not upping the power, at least giving himself some more forfeit. Okay, so let's see. He plays Rebel Leadership. He's got Radis. He's now got to lose 2 to the drain, so loses Saw Gerrera and Mantelian Savrip. Oof. 2 important cards in this matchup. Again, I'm kind of... I myself am a little surprised that Greg went with Diplo. Especially because you had to have put Justin on some sort of ISB. It seems like he played the deck a lot, especially in the last round of the OCS. And he knows the deck rather well. Now, there was the errata where you cannot start the 2-0 site to Coruscant with SSA. So you want to get the additional location. But in a matchup like this, again, I wanted to put Greg on Diplo, so... Okay, so here comes Moff Gideon, who also recently got an errata. He pulls the Stormtrooper to his site. So, him going down to the Cantina in front of Obi-Wan and Corrin Horn. He's able to get a Stormtrooper there, so there's the garrison, so he'll get 2 Destiny there. Unfortunately for Shaw, he had the Rebel Leadership in his hand, but now that he used it for Radis... Now, he is flipped, so that's good. He'll be able to add 2 to his Battle Destiny. But if he doesn't get a Battle Destiny, that's not going to come into play. So, yeah, we did see that Justin did use Imperial Enforcement to take the Tarkin back into his hand last turn. So, and he's just adding on. There's another Stormtrooper, so that's quite a bit of power there. So, and again... Justin's going to be able to cancel the Battle Destiny here. So he's getting to canceling a Destiny. I really hope Greg's got another Hojix. Oof. And to add insult to injury, there's Trooper Assault. So all of his troopers are going to get +2 and be immune. Okay, Greg going to grab that. Now, again, we already saw him play 1 Hojix. Yeah, this is not looking good for Greg, unfortunately. He's down by 15, and that's before Destinies. Now, normally, let's see. Now, those 2 characters cover 14. So, right now he's taking 1 in Overflow. But, again, this is before Destinies, and as we can see, Justin has 2. And Greg is supposed to get 1. Unfortunately, Tarkin will be able to cancel this. Action is on Greg. That is a good point. Yeah, it would have to be before the Destinies, though. So Greg decided not to do that, and Justin is getting. He's got a battle listing of 8, so down by 23. Draws a 1. I mean, he can cancel and redraw this, but again, action is going to be on. Okay, so yeah, Justin decided to cancel that, but again, uh, oh, it's canceled, so it doesn't come into play. That's right. Okay, he loses Obi-Wan. He loses Cornhorn. Also, flip back. And there's a second Hojix. Okay, so he did have a second Hojix. Let's see. I don't think he used Obi-Wan's game text to get it back, so he did have the second one. Yeah. He didn't use Obi-Wan's game text, so he did have a second one. Okay. So that's going to turn off the... So it flips him back, and it turns off the Tatooine celebration, so we won't retrieve any this next coming turn. Justin already sitting up in Life Force. Oof. Justin has 30, whereas Greg has 20, so that's a 10 card difference. The one saving grace is that, well, I would say the one saving grace is that ISB tends to put a lot of cards on table. Diplo can put a lot of cards on table, it just really depends. Okay, Justin playing the Battle Order, so it would cost Greg 3 to drain for 1. I don't think he's going to do it. I mean, Justin could just put an ISB agent from his hand into the lost pile, and he can retrieve it next turn. So it's not advantageous at this point for Greg to battle or to drain in space. I think the better thing is to try and come down to Tatooine, try and reestablish some sort of presence so that you can flip. Okay, so he's going to come down with Ahsoka and Luke. Interesting. Both are in front of Vader. Vader won't be able to cancel their game text, but Kirkanos will be able to cancel any non-immune to sense interrupts. Okay, Chewie Protector coming down. Now that's a target for Vader to cancel. Once per turn, may target opponent's character at the same site has power less than 4 and cancel their game text. Unfortunately, Kirkanos has power 5, so you can't cancel his game text. And Vader, I don't think you can cancel his game text. I think he's got more than 5. But the one thing is that's another pool for Greg from his use pile with I must be allowed to speak. Now, he is outpowering Justin in this battle. And with Ahsoka, I was saying that all of Justin's destiny are -1. If Justin were to draw an Imperial, he'll probably redraw it with the Imperial Enforcement, though. Greg only has 4 cards left in his Force pile, so yeah, we're probably not going to see Greg. Yeah, we're definitely not going to see Greg battle because the only other card that would be able to recirculate his used pile into his reserve deck would be Shirut. Unfortunately, Shirut costs 4 to come down, so I don't think we're going to see him battle this turn. Okay, Leia's coming down. Interesting. So, I mean, Leia would draw Destiny on her own as long as she's with an Imperial leader. Or, no, she draws Destiny on her own with an Imperial leader. She adds to total power or attrition instead. But going down to the Dune Sea means that Justin would have to draw guys that have total ability of 6 or greater. That is possible with a lot of dudes coming down with the ISB. It's just how many characters does Justin have in his 7 card hand? And again, with Leia coming down, he got another use pop pool, so he took a card with I must be allowed to speak. So there's Admiral Radis, who came down for 0. Yeah, yeah. Ultimatum's not really. Yeah, yeah. Exactly. Thank you, Paul. Ultimatum's not needed to make that a drain of 1 or a drain of 2 at the cantina instead of a drain of 4. So Menace Fades is in effect right now. So that is one saving grace for Greg. Again, he doesn't move the Tantive over only because he wants to keep Menace Fades in effect. Okay, Justin does drain at the cantina, causing Greg to lose a Rebel Barrier and a projection of Skywalker. Okay, so let's see. Here comes Agent Callus. Callus does get a peek, so that's ability of 3. So he only needs 3 more ability to come down and be able to draw Destiny against Leia. Now, again, Greg is flipped, so he will get an increase of 4 to his total. Now, it is total, so stuff like Imp Justice doesn't work there. It wouldn't cap it at whatever the Destiny draw number is. Okay, let's see. So, Callus reveals Sergeant Eyeroll and Moff Gideon. Justin does take the Eyeroll into his hand. Okay, so he looks with Imperial Rest Order, looking for a docking bay. Uh-oh, there's the Vengeance. So that will flip Greg back. Oof. So that +4 I was just talking about, no longer in effect. That's one of the bigger downsides to Diplo is it is kind of an easy deck to flip back. You have to occupy I believe it's you have to occupy. You do not occupy a battleground site and a battleground system, or you do not control any locations. So with Justin coming down with the Vengeance and Callus, I mean, he doesn't really have to battle at this point, but yeah, Greg just flipping Greg back there is a win for Justin. He does still have 6 cards left. We know that one of them is eye roll, and we know that one of the Biker Scout Troopers, I believe it's this one, when in battle with eye roll at a site, adds 1 battle destiny. So they have to be at a site though. And again, 2 of Greg's Hojixes are in the lost pile. Is he running a third? I doubt it, but I wouldn't be surprised. He only has a 3-card hand. That's another problem with Diplo is I've noticed it this way, where you tend not to have a large hand in Diplo, at least until the very end. But things are looking really good for Justin at this point. Again, this is game 1. Justin was the higher seed, so he got to choose the sides for this battle. Okay, Justin will initiate a battle at against the Tantive with the Vengeance. He does draw Destiny because of quad drive yards. Draws a 2 for Destiny. Let's see if he takes that into his hand. He will. Colonel Wolf Ilaran, yeah, really good card for ISB. And he draws a 3, so that's a plus for Justin. Down by 6, I believe that's just the... Oh, and he has, and because he won the battle, he's going to make Greg lose another card. And then he retrieves 1, but he doesn't have an Imperial in his lost pile. So I believe that's just the C-3PO and R2-D2. Okay, so they did their job. They delivered the tapes, and they went to the lost pile. Okay, and Justin's going to move around. Okay, so he moves Vader in front of Leia. Probably going to see Kier Canis move as well. Yep, there he is. So it's a drain of 1 for Greg. He is retrieving 2 cards, though. Again, Menace isn't in effect right now because Shaw isn't controlling a system. He doesn't flip as well because he has to control a system and a site to flip to the 7 side. Okay, Callus is going to move up in space. Okay, that's a so now he normally he would have 2 Destiny up in space because Callus is with an ISB agent, but because of that Tatooine system, any uh, the dark side player only is capped to 1 Battle Destiny unless they occupy with a Trade Federation or Independent Starship. Bill Kafer is in the chat. Bill, any insight as to why Greg decided to go with Diplo? Especially being that you got to think that Justin is on ISB. Okay, Greg going to place his Walkling out of play to retrieve one. It's going to give him another card to retrieve, so that's good. So, I mean, he gets the R2D2 back, but at this point, he just needs any card he can get. His life force is a little low, so. Especially when compared to Justin. Uh, so, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I personally, I would rather have a better card, but you got to get anything back that you can. Now, one good thing for Greg is I'm assuming that's the extent of Justin's space fleet. Unfortunately, because he has the Stalker, I was going to say, like, he could move the Korean Corvette to Mustafar to satisfy for Menace Phase and to flip him back. But unfortunately, because the Stalker's there, the Stalker could follow and then beat down on the Carillion Corvette. Okay, Greg activating and saving 2. Interesting. Again, he could use Callus to cancel the Destiny up in at Tatooine, and then use the Bright Hope to reduce any further damage. Yeah, I think he wants to knock off as many characters as he can up in space. Now, Greg does get the drain for free here. And he does retrieve an escape pod and projection of Skywalker. Up. Oh, nope. Lando's coming down against the Vengeance. Okay, so it looks like he's going to try and get the Vengeance off the table. Now, it is immune less than 4, but he is drawing 2 Destiny there. And it doesn't look like he drained, so. Draws a 3. Now, he did know that he was going to get the 3 because he tracked it as he retrieved it on after Justin's last turn. So he draws a 3 and a 3. Probably going to see him take the Bail Organa into hand. Yep, and he does. So he's got a Destiny 6, so that's going to cause that Vengeance to go bye-bye. But let's see what Justin draws for Destiny. Justin draws a 3. He can redraw that. Oh, that's right. That is a drain of 0, Bill. Thank you. So Justin draws a Stunning Leader for Destiny. That is enough to cause him to get to 12 power, which will cause Greg to lose a card. He loses the R2D2 that we just saw him A, retrieve, and then B, get back with the. Or he retrieved it and then drew it for Destiny, so he knew he was losing. Okay, he'll lose Lando Scoundrel. Lando did his job. He got rid of that Vengeance, so now he flips, and he also satisfies for Menace Fades. Yeah, I agree with Bill. Diplo is fine, but again, it just it's it is a rather slow deck. That's the biggest problem. I think with right now ISB being so fast. So that's a bigger problem. Greg's saying at least he shut down the retrieval. Justin's saying that he is locked out of retrieving, and Greg's is going strong. Face palm emoji. I like that. A little bit of banter between two friends. So Greg moves his Cassian Andor down in front of Gideon and moves Leia over. Interesting. Uh, yeah, I kind of like that because I mean Greg is or Justin's only drawing one Destiny up in space. Yeah, and a lot of people are talking. Yeah, I agree that Diplo right now is in a bad spot because of how slow it is compared to a lot of the main dark side decks. Quartz really fast. It gives Diplo's a lot of issues. Um, I don't think Diplo right now is in a good spot. I like the deck. It just there's so many worse matchups for it. It's so reliant on cards like Menace Fades. Where I mean, yeah, you could start it, but then you're taking away from like Walkling, you're taking away either a strike planning or I must be allowed to speak. Walkling might be the only one that I wouldn't start. I would start Menace Fades over. So up. Okay, so here comes a Vader's. Oh, there's a. So I was wrong. There is another Starship in Greg's or in Justin's deck. It's Vader's Personal Shudder, non V. So while Vader aboard, opponent must have ability of greater than 5 to draw Battle Destiny at the same system. Oof. So it comes down with another Stormtrooper Garrison and Colonel Wolf Yularen onto the shuttle. So let's see, will he activate 4 with Yularen? He does. So he's got 4 cards left in his reserve deck. So Justin was able to activate everything that he could this turn. He then just got 4 more cards. So he went from 9 to 13. Okay, there's the eye roll that we saw him taking a hand a couple turns ago with the Imperial Enforcement. And that, again, will flip Greg back. Okay. Min coming down in front of Leia and Captain Cassian. So, I mean, that's still only. He'll be able to cancel with Cassian Andor. However, the Garrison's giving another Destiny, so that's 2 Destiny in that battle, and he's up by 10 in power. Wow. So, the. I think the demise of ISB has greatly been exaggerated at this point. Justin's showing that, I mean, again, this is a really, really bad matchup for Diplo. Okay, Greg playing Escape Pod. We're doomed. Making it so that Min's going to place that out of play. See if Greg has any other tricks up his sleeves. Because he's down by 10. And this again before Destiny. Yep, Leia's going to add to her power. So draws a 4, so 9 to 15. Okay, so that's going to be make it a little closer for Greg. Justin draws 2, probably going to cancel that with Imperial Enforcement. Well, actually, actions on Greg to see if he wanted to cancel it with Cassian. But he doesn't cancel it. And Cassian will cancel that. He's going to place R2-D2 and C3PO out of play. Again, they did their job long ago. So Justin only draws a 2 for Battle Destiny. And Greg draws a 3, so 7. So he's down by 5. I think you're probably gonna cancel the just lose the Cassian at this point. Now again, Justin would have been able to retrieve with the Imperial Enforcement, but as Greg pointed out a little while ago, his Justin's retrieval is pretty much turned off because there's no Imperials in the lost pile. However, now there's an Imperial in there. That's Stormtrooper Garrison. He can retrieve that with the Imperial Enforcement, which he should be able to do right here. Draws 4 for Destiny, so that's only going to be Mon Mothma, but again he retrieves a card with Imperial Enforcement. That is the non-V shuttle. That is a non-V shuttle. Okay, yep. Mon Mothma goes to the lost pile, and Justin retrieves the Garrison. God, I don't want to say it's like it's getting to almost to that point where the best thing that Gray could do is maybe draw up. You know what? I don't blame him. I'm a big fan of ISB. I love playing it. I played it a couple years ago at Worlds, but that was like the Brony version. Okay. Let's see. I believe that they are ability 2, so yeah, they don't draw Destiny on their own. So I mean, their power 12. Justin or Greg might be able to do. He could Cantina shuffle, put Leia into the Cantina, and then battle with somebody else against those 2 stormtroopers. But let's see what he does. I mean, he will be able to retrieve 2 with the celebration this turn. He's not doing any damage to Justin. He is retrieving though. I mean, if he draws up here, it would be a win for Justin at 28. That's That's not good. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, I agree with Paul. He's given up 7 icons. That's it's that only helps ISB. Yeah, I agree with Paul. I mean, Justin's giving up 3. Okay, so Greg does retrieve. So he's gonna keep fighting on. He's got 11 cards in his life force, 5 cards in his hand. He's not gonna battle this turn. So, but he is going to put Jin Urso down to the Coruscant site. So now we will see some damage go through because that is a drain of 2 there. Justin only has 3 cards in his hand, so it's doubtful that he is going to have some response to that Jin going down. Okay, Leia will move over in front of the garrisons and the patrol. And the Tantive moves over to Mustafar, so that way, yep. Now Greg is still satisfying for Menace Fades, so all those drain bonuses won't go through. However, he is doing 1, 3, 4 damage this turn to Greg. Mm. Justin activates all 18. And there is the 4 damage, so he loses. It's a hit. Solo, Commander Van and Willard, and there goes a Shirut. So he retrieved 2 last turn, took 4 damage. So I mean that's a -2 to Greg essentially. So and he lost all those cards. He lost It's a hit from his hand, but the rest of those cards were from his deck. Oh, there's an Isard down against Leia, so that's gonna allow for the Destiny. That's gonna also add a Destiny with the Garrison. And Greg plays Narrow Escape. Punishes initiate a battle where you have a rebel of ability greater than 2 present. Move all of your cards with ability there away using their land speed. So Narrow Escape saves the day. Leia cannot be battled again, so that's a little bit better than a dodge. So again, with the errata to firepower, it isn't on the table, and it won't cause any damage to Greg for playing cards like that. Okay, so both players have 2 cards left in their hand. Justin is in his battle phase still. I think he's just going to go to his move phase. He's got no real reason. I mean, the only thing he should really do here is maybe move the Vader's shuttle. I don't. Yeah, it should have enough hyperspeed. Yeah. Yeah, he's going to move the Vader shuttle over, so that way Menace Phase will. Oh no, he's going to move the Stalker in front of the Tantive. Okay. I'm a little surprised he didn't go with the Vader shuttle. But I guess at this point he doesn't care about losing cards. He just wants well, actually he's not going to lose cards at all. At Tatooine because of his objective. Jin will be able to drain for 2 here. So he does draw up a few cards. He's sitting at 25 in life force, 5 cards in hand. So we'll probably see him lose from hand here. Oh, he starts off this Greg's turn by playing a Death Squadron assignment. So he puts a card back. Well, he plays that, gets Ozzel into his hand. So I mean, he could lose the Ozzel and the Death Squadron assignment. So that way he knows what he's losing. Also, it gives an Imperial to retrieve next turn. Greg's saving 2. Okay, so Justin will lose Tarkin V from hand and a Lena Dobry combo. I'm not big on losing that Lena Dobry combo. You could have Lena Dobry. If he would have had it, he could have Lena Dobry Vader over in front of Jin, hits on her game text, and beat down her. But it was in his deck, so that's not too bad. So Shaw retrieves. He retrieves that Shoot and the Willard that he lost last turn. No, he hasn't lost any at any locations. You got to think though, that's all he's playing. He himself has. I mean, he's giving himself 10 icons plus the 1, so he's got 11 off of himself. Yeah, especially with the errata to SSA and Gideon. I mean, it seems rather low, but it's kind of nice that Greg's giving him so many. Okay, so Bail Organa comes down onto a Corellian Corvette. I want to say we're probably going to see. Well, he can't move off of Tatooine at risk of losing the celebration. Okay, the Sandef comes over. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see that Corellian Corvette move. We're probably going to see Leia move as well, but if Leia moves. Yeah, Greg's in a rough spot right now because he wants to keep Menace Fates in effect. He can do that by moving one of his ships, but he's also needs to. With Leia not there, he's going to be losing 5. It would be a drain of 5 if Leia moves off of Tatooine. Okay, so the Corellian Corvette does move. It does draw Destiny on its own now that Bail Organa is there. But again, Leia's prime for a beatdown. Is it better to leave Leia there? Or is it better to... Yeah, he moves Leia. Okay. So he's going to take a drain of 5 this turn. And then he draws the last card. Okay, so, I mean, Leia would add. I mean, she gives some forfeit up in space in case Justin decides to battle. Uh, so he's going to be taking a drain of 6 this turn. Okay, there goes a no escape or narrow escape, projection. Leadership, escape pod. Yeah, he's losing it all from the deck. He did lose a projection of Skywalker from his hand. He's only got 1 card left in his hand. So yeah, it's a drain of 6 this turn. Oof. Is he playing 2 Cassians? Oh no, he lost the Cassian and then retrieved it. So Greg only has 5 cards left. I think if you're Justin, I think you're happy being at 21. It's not a. Nope. Here comes Erica down against Ara Singh, or against Jin Ursa. Wow, Ara Singh. That was in yesterday's match. And Ozil. Okay, so that's gonna shut down the menace phase, or the yeah, it turns off menace phase. It doesn't flip him back though. So he would be getting +4 with this battle, but he decides not to battle, just moving over the Vader shuttle. Okay, so yeah, he flips him back. He turns off menace fades. So and then a retrieve. Yeah, Greg's not doing any damage at this point. Uh, I mean, he could retrieve 1 here, but I don't know. It's looking. I mean, right now, Justin would be doing a drain of 5 at Tatooine. You only have 6 cards to work with. At some point, you got to realize. I mean, you got to think to yourself: is it better to draw up or continue this game out? I mean, if he retrieves 1, he if he retrieves 1 this turn, that would give him 7 cards to work with. Justin is again doing a drain right now, at least of 5. I say at least because Menace Fades could be reactivated. If it isn't, it's a lot more. Oh, never mind. He's gonna be fine with leaving Menace Fades off. He plays the ultimatum, so all those drains are capped at 2. That is 1 more point of damage, though. Justin could get 1 more point of damage if he just moves Gideon over. Because I don't think, yeah, Iroll, or no, Iroll is not an ISB agent, so if he moves Gideon over with Vader, Kyrkanos, and Iroll, he can do 1 more point of damage there, and it would be drain of 6. So, 2, 2, 2, so. And that would put Greg at 1 card after he retrieves 1. I mean, Justin's not going to be retrieving anything next turn, so. But you're not doing any damage. Because the 3 cards Justin has in his lost pile are Lana Dobrin combo, Vengeance, and the SSA. I don't know when the next game is. They haven't really said. So I don't think it's going to be right after this. But I will say this: I think Greg wants to take some time and reevaluate what made him play Diplo. Okay, so he moves Bail Organa down to the Vader's castle site. Interesting. Again, that I don't like that because one that will allow for the Corellian Corvette. I mean, if you move the Corellian Corvette back over to Tatooine, that's still a drain of one. You're losing 7, which is exactly what you have. Or no, he's going to move. Okay, so he's going to move Ahsoka over to block that drain. And Chewie. Okay. Moves, lay it down. I mean, all Justin has to do is move Vader in front of Bail, battle the Corellian Corvette, make the Corellian Corvette go away. Bail can't run away. I don't know, just I know you want to try and get some damage in, but I don't see it. Justin or Greg's gonna only be at, yeah, he loses a sense, so he's only at 3 cards left. And again, Justin can easily maneuver his guys to block any amount of damage that can come through. Draw Sergeant Barrier for Destiny. It's a Destiny of 1. Again, it doesn't matter. Greg won't draw. And he'll lose Ahsoka. Yeah, again, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see this. Okay, so he's going to battle with Erica first. Yeah, Greg doesn't want to draw, so that way he won't give Justin anything to retrieve with his Imperial Enforcement. Yeah. He does get to peek at. Okay, so he was able to peek with Jin at Justin's 1 card, but yeah, like I said, he doesn't want to give Justin any retrieval, so he's not going to draw Destiny. Yep, there goes the Corellian Corvette. Just move Vader over. That blocks your drain. Bail has no way to run. And if you're Greg, I think you just draw those last 3 cards. Oh, okay. So he doesn't move Vader over. He just shuttle. He just lands the shuttle to block that train. And there's Colonel Wolf Yularen. Yeah. So it looks like it's going to be a full win for Justin by 25. Justin has 3 cards in his loss pile. I'm going to say that Greg has 31. And again, I think if you're Greg, you just draw up here because you don't want 3 more cards in your loss pile. So yeah, looks like again Justin's going to win this game. Oh, he's gonna lose a card to put a card back. He loses the Gick from his hand to put the Garrison back. So he's gonna win by 26, not 25. Wow. Uh, Good play, Mr. Justin Desai. Oh, okay. So he gets a drain of 1 at the moisture farm. Interesting. Oh, it's a drain of 2 because Bale is on the table. That's right. And he's gonna retrieve. So Justin loses the strategic reserve, so it is going to be 25. Oh no, he doesn't retrieve. He is going to just draw off. Okay, so again, full win for Mr. Justin Desai by 23. Justin has 5 cards in the lost pile. Greg has 31. So again, let's see when they want to play their next game. As soon as we figure that out, we will let you guys know. Don't think it's going to be right immediately at following this game. I don't think. Pretty sure they said that they haven't said anything like that yet. Okay, I guess they are. Okay, so Justin realized. Okay, so yeah, it looks like they're going to run the second game here in a few minutes. Looks like we got about a 15-minute break, everybody. So stay tuned to Twitch for game 2. We'll be back for that game. It's going to be Justin's Light versus Greg's Dark. Gonna run that at 1:30 Eastern Time. Okay, so we'll be back for that. See everybody then. So yeah, give us a 15-minute break, everybody. See you then.